In mid-March, Saudi's efforts to return the Ethiopian migrants have resumed. It's not clear how equipped Ethiopia's isolation centers are for an influx of returnees.
World news from the BBC. The Ukrainian authorities say forest fires which threatened the old Chernobyl nuclear reactor have now been put out following heavy rain. Hundreds of firefighters had battled the blaze for 10 days, and at one point the fires came within a few kilometres of the reactor buildings. Ukrainian officials had insisted that radiation levels were still at safe levels. Chernobyl is the site of the world's worst nuclear accident in 1986. North Korea has launched multiple short-range missiles from the ground and from the air as a show of strength on the eve of the 108th birthday of the state's late founder, Kim Il-sung. Fighter jets also fired missiles into the sea. It's the latest in a series of military exercises by North Korea. The Libyan capital, Tripoli, has been hit by a wave of rocket attacks overnight as fighting continues despite renewed international efforts to secure a ceasefire. The UN-recognised government in Tripoli accused the forces of Khalifa Haftar of carrying out the attacks in revenge after pro-government forces recaptured 2 coastal cities. Willem de Jonge from the International Committee of the Red Cross warned civilians were caught between the coronavirus outbreak and the fighting.
Due to the imposed curfews linked to the COVID-19 and the government's response in trying to limit the spread by imposing movement restrictions, it's been very difficult for people who want to flee the fighting to actually get out. And when they do, they often end up grouping together and moving into shelters or other places where it's very, very difficult to impose physical distancing. And that makes it all the more difficult for them to try and prevent the spread within their communities.
The Indian state of Bihar has banned the use of chewing tobacco in public in an attempt to prevent the spread of the coronavirus. An official said spitting the tobacco in public places could infect more people. BBC News.
Thank you. You're listening to the newsroom from the BBC World Service with Oliver Conway. Spain yesterday, Italy and Austria today, and tomorrow, Denmark. Countries across Europe are beginning to lift some of the...
Pierre-Alain Mungigi has urged the Swiss justice system is about to close a case against him. An investigation was opened in September 2015 on a controversial contract that the Swiss Public Prosecutor's Office has decided to close without further action. But the former FIFA president is still being prosecuted for the alleged unfair payment of 1.8 million euros to Michel Platini, then president of UEFA in February 2011. After more than a month behind bars in Paraguay, Ronaldinho was released from prison. The former Barcelona star was released on bail and placed under house arrest in a hotel in Asunción. It was not a discreet arrival, as you can see in these images. Reservations at the hotel have reportedly skyrocketed since the announcement of the Brazilian's arrival, and he's paid $1.6 million in bail. Many thanks to the technical and production crew. News continues on Africa News and africanews.com. I wish you an excellent week and goodbye. In Libya, forces backing the unity government say they've captured 2 strategic cities in the west of Tripoli Monday. A fresh blow to Eastern Commander Khalifa Haftar a year after he launched an offensive on the capital. I salute all the Libyan revolutionaries everywhere, and I salute Sabratha particularly on the occasion of its liberation today. God willing, Sabratha will become a safe city in the hands of the revolution of February, in the hands of the GNA forces and the Libyan government. What the Libyan people are hoping for is democracy and the civil rotation of power without military rule. A spokesman for the Tripoli Allied Forces, Colonel Mohammed Gunu, said they captured the city of Sabratha around 75 kilometers west of Tripoli. On his forces' official Facebook page, he said they had also taken the town of Soman, 60 kilometers west of the capital. We assure everyone that we'll maintain security and invite members of the police and security forces from tomorrow to come and assume their duties. The incident ignited rocket attacks on Tripoli that injured at least one person and damaged houses in a residential vicinity. There was no immediate...
Somalia have been deeply affected.
We are likely to have
operation will last 10 days with firefighters and the Ministry of Health officials cleaning up an area of about 3,000 hectares in response to the pandemic. The impact is to decontaminate secretions dead on areas that have been touched. People can contaminate places and buildings as well as